Hi everyone! I wanted to share with you a Practice Makes Polished Level 2 by MasterBooks curriculum. And it's focused on lessons in spelling, grammar, reading, and writing. And I wanted to show it to you to see if this is something that you would like to use in the future so you can see how it looks inside. It goes well with their series, language lessons for a living, level 2, and it's really interesting. I wanted to get it for extra practice, and I was just looking at it, and it is organized very interesting. It has the short vowels, then the long vowels, and then you have like different sounds like vowels, paired, and R words. And here you also have word blends with a consonant, silent consonants, homophones, irregular plural words, and at the end it has also days of the week, months of the year, and number of words 1 through 10, and then 11 through 20. So this one is very interesting, and this book is separated into different sections. One of them is spelling practice. So this page has to do with spelling, and it also comes with the answer key. But in addition to that, there is a section for grammar and reading practice. So if you see, it starts at lesson 1 and it ends at lesson 36. The same thing as this one. The spelling practice went from lesson 1 through lesson 36. So they kind of correspond with each other, but they are organized separately in this particular book. You also have your writing practice, which is the third component, and it goes from lesson 1 all the way down to lesson 36 with its own answer key. And here, this one, it's like a welcome, and tips for using these key concept sections and questions that, just regular answers to questions on how to use this book. And optional schedules, because this book can be used throughout the whole year, in addition to the other language lessons for a living, volume 2. These two can pair with each other, or they can be used for the summer, or they can be used for extra practice. So you can kind of pick and choose. They stressed, I was reading, and they mentioned that even if you're looking at using another language arts curriculum, not necessarily one from MasterBooks, but if you have a different one and you still want to use this for the summer months or for extra practice or even for fun, you're more than welcome to do that. So in this section, this one is spelling practice lesson 1. So this corresponds with the lesson 1 of the main workbook, curriculum language lessons for a living, volume 2. So this lesson 1 has 2 pages of 2 activities related to spelling. So you have this one that has space for handwriting, and then in the back page you have these kind of word boxes that the student kind of has to take a minute to figure out which word goes where based on the shape of the box. So this is a nice activity for spelling, and I like that it's at the beginning of the week here, because in language lessons for a living volume 2, spelling words are located at the end of the week, so on day 5. So here you can kind of say, hey, the beginning of the week we're working on these words, and kind of review them throughout the week. And with the other language lessons for a living curriculum, you're ending with those words being presented on day 5 as a review. So you can kind of tailor it to your own, to the way that works best for you. So this one is lesson 2, so it moved on to a different lesson. So lesson 2 also has opportunities for writing, and on the back also you have that crossword and silly sentences, and move on to lesson 3. So it may seem like it's really light because it only had 2 pages for this, but remember that we are on the section relating to spelling practice, and that's not the only thing that this book has. So spelling practice, there would be a couple pages per lesson, because this goes over lessons 30, 36 is the last one. And then once we're done with that, this is the way the book is organized. You can definitely put markers and things to have the book be easier to use, to follow through. But here, this section is about grammar and reading practice, and this correlates with lesson 1. So here you have more opportunities for writing a noun in the blank space, and opportunities for reading this story. And on the following page, we're still on lesson 1, and we have another opportunity for reading. We have some visual cues, some pictures that can be colored. And here this says, circle the words that make the short ah sound in each sentence. Underline the nouns. You may color the pictures or draw more of your own. So this is very nice. And now this goes on to lesson 2. So this is the grammar. Grammar, it stresses pronouns, nouns, days of the week. As the lessons go on, this will have more opportunity to kind of practice those things. So I love when it says circle the long and short ooh words, because it helps to go back to not only the child can read these sentences, but they can go back and kind of highlight, color, circle, to look for those specific word patterns that we're learning about. So that is for grammar section, and we're moving on to the last section, which is your writing practice section. This specific curriculum is heavily on handwriting. They have tons of opportunities to practice copy work, handwriting, and that's also important because it also encourages the children to use their imagination, to write a sentence using one or more of your spelling words and use a period. But the prompt is use one of these words, but you can choose your own sentence. So it gives the child that freedom, the child who is more inclined to talk more, to come up with those imaginary stories, to use their imagination. But some children are not like that. Some children need more of a, concrete prompt in order for them to write. So this curriculum, it has a lot of writing and a lot of opportunities for writing. And of course, parents and educators are there to help. Children just needs to want to write, and then mom or dad or the teacher can kind of guide them. And that's the beauty of this curriculum, that if the child enjoys writing, enjoys talking, enjoys expressing their creativity, then this curriculum is such a wonderful fit for that. And that will be the end of the curriculum. It ends with these writing practices and opportunities to again review those words and to journal. It's awesome because it just asks the question, write today's date, write today's day of the week. And these are things that the children are also learning in their math curriculums. They're learning days of the week, the month, and to keep that order. And here we're just giving opportunities for writing them, for using the words to write them. So journaling, a child can also have an extra notebook or companion where they can just write a few sentences and then draw pictures. That also promotes their creativity. So this may not work for every child, for every type of personality, but it's definitely, this book is meant to be fun. It's meant to be enjoyed. It's meant to not be stressful. You don't have to push the child to write if the child is not ready to write so much. But I love this book because it matches perfectly with the Language Lessons for a Living, Volume 2. And you have opportunities for practicing those spelling words and to do writing. And it's such a wonderful, wonderful curriculum, very creative, and it's supposed to be fun. From what I was reading from the author, it's meant with the child fun in mind, whether the child completes this over the summer or completes this during the regular school year. Thank you.